When was the last time you thought about how you think? Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And today we are going to talk about how people think. Two major conclusions I'm going to give you right at the beginning. Number one, relaxed focus. And the second one is success leaves clues. So let's go. You know, Eli, effective thinkers do not accept information at face value. They also avoid jumping to conclusions and rushing to judgment. They constantly create questions to clarify and extend their understanding. Now, René Descartes, who's recognized as the father of modern philosophy, solved problems using his four famous rules that he outlined in Rules for the Direction of the Mind. First one, accept nothing as true that is not self-evident. Okay? Don't just take people's word for it. Second, divide problems into their simplest parts. We have called this on this channel chunking things down into their smallest components. Third, solve problems by proceeding from simple to complex. Another way of saying that is get to a starting line. When you get to a starting line, you get yourself in motion, you create activity, and things happen from there, and you'll find that when you run into a roadblock that you're going to create a new starting line. And fourth, recheck your reasoning, which means take all your information and then apply that to your view. Don't continuously have the same viewpoint. Change your angle, change your paradigm, and you'll be able to see these new starting lines, and you'll be able to see the finish line that much sooner. Now, effective thinking means thinking purposefully using a framework and tool set that can lead to better decisions and faster problem solving. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Charles Darwin, Eli. In his autobiography, Darwin writes, "I had also during many years followed a golden rule, namely that whenever a published fact, a new observation or thought came to me, which was opposed to my general results, to make a memorandum of it without fail and at once. For I had found by experience that such facts and thoughts were far more apt to escape from memory than favorable ones." Okay, what does that mean? That means when you get an opposing viewpoint or you get a significant viewpoint, write it down. Write it down. You may not ever go back and review what you've written down, but by virtue of the fact that you have written it down, you will remember it. So write it down. That cements it in your mind. Now, Darwin thought broadly and carefully, especially during his contemplative walks. While working on his famous theory of evolution, Darwin used to take daily walks to exercise his mind and body and to think, and most importantly, to observe and notice nature. Walking the same route every day from his house through shady woods, Darwin referred to this as his thinking path. He took every opportunity, no matter where he was, to engage in productive thinking. You see, a healthy and effective mental life is often accompanied by time for undisturbed contemplation. Famous thinkers made time to think about pressing problems. Einstein used to play the violin during times of productive thinking, claiming that it was in some ways an extension of his thinking and it helped him to solve particularly tricky problems. He would also on occasion just lie down on the floor and not take a nap, but just lie down on the floor and clear his mind and work on the problem just on the ground like that. Mozart claimed that many of his best musical ideas came while he was walking or riding in a carriage. Now, as you ponder, reflect, visualize, Imagine possibilities and engage in thought experiments. You're going to find that you're going to get new insights. This is what we call relaxed focus. I have preached from this pulpit the concept of giving yourself quiet thinking time every single day. That's what I do. That's my method. Einstein plays the violin. Mozart takes rides. Darwin takes walks. What is it that you do where you have a relaxed focus time? Years ago, I used to ride my bike for 10 miles through a bike path, and while I was on the bike path, I would be doing my thinking, and you can't even not do it. So set aside some time every day for some relaxed focus time. All right, that's, you're not multitasking. Relaxed focus. You're relaxed and you're concentrating on one particular issue. Now, why does that work? It works because you're sending that vibe out there into the universe, and the more you do it, it gives the universe, it singles out the thought, it creates a burning desire, the universe recognizes that, and the universe wants to help us. And the way the universe helps us is by giving us mind flashes or different circumstances, but you've got to get that thought out there. So that relaxed, focused time is essential to unbelievably productive, creative thinking. Now, Edward Berger, the author of The 5 Elements of Effective Thinking, writes, "In everything you do, refine your skills and knowledge about fundamental concepts and simple cases. Once is never enough. As you revisit fundamentals, you'll find new insights. It may appear that returning to basics is a step backward and requires additional time and effort. However, building on firm foundations, you will soon see your true abilities soar higher and faster." Unquote. There's a method to the madness. That's the point. Go back to the basics. The basics include, we have been given this wonderful tool known as our brain, but most people don't use it. It's like, buying an electric saw and not knowing how to plug it in. It's not going to work for you. So you need to plug in your brain. How do you do that? With relaxed focus. The world's greatest thinkers continue to hone their reasoning, and as the world keeps changing, it's likely that we're going to need to develop some of the wisdom and genius of people like Einstein, Darwin, and Descartes. Remember, success leaves clues. Model those that are successful. To learn how to think effectively requires the openness to think beyond our established ideas and the curiosity to keep ourselves in wonder at all times. Remember, great thinkers are just ordinary people who use their minds differently. And Eli used this method, relaxed focus, and that could be you. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Thomas Opung, who wrote an article called "The Golden Rules of Effective Thinking," and once again, I want to give him credit because this article sort of got me on this path. And because we're never going to end a meeting on a philosophical note, remember, relaxed focus, success leaves clues. Let's get out there and take charge. I'm Eli's dad.